What's going on, guys? What's going on? I'm Jaye the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Make sure you like this video and share it because I'm going to speak on how down bad black men really are, especially on TV, with the likes of Randy Moss getting on national TV crying over the perceived hate that John Gruden has towards black people because he made a joke towards DeMaurice Smith, one of the worst leaders of the Players Association. I don't think he's done much of anything. He's allowed the players to get finessed through every bargaining situation. They constantly are getting finessed. This is why, and this is a side note, this is why the players are being shafted with these unsportsmanlike penalties because of guys like DeMaurice Smith, who does nothing but collect a check to pretend as though he's doing something. Well, apparently emails that John Gruden sent to DeMaurice Smith was leaked, I believe via Bruce Allen, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to get into this article, but I wanted to speak on Randy Moss threatening Jason Whitlock over the fact that he was crying on TV and Jason Whitlock mocked him, and he's talking about it's on site. What is on site, Randy? You were just on TV crying your eyes out because your feelings was hurt about what John Gruden said in the email. And I even mocked it myself. I had to go because I'm tired of you black men getting on TV crying in front of Caucasian people. You know, I put this tweet up the other day, as you can see it, crying on TV over another grown man saying hurtful things is the dumbest thing Randy Moss has done. And make sure you follow me on Twitter too, @unofficialjay. Like I said, I'm sick and tired of you black men getting on TV, crying your eyes out because you don't think Caucasian people love you enough. And this is the same Randy Moss who, I believe, didn't he have a long relationship with a Caucasian woman, had children with her, and the woman has issues with drugs? Is that the same Randy Moss? Because I did a video on it. But we're going to get into this. Let's get into this article from the Viking Age. It says Randy Moss mocked internet personality over John Gruden comments. This past weekend, former Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Randy Moss had an emotional reaction to the news surrounding former Las Vegas Raiders head coach John Gruden. Throughout his tenure with the Minnesota Vikings and during the rest of his NFL career, Randy has always been someone who wore his heart on his sleeve. To this day, if Moss has something on his mind, he's never afraid to reveal his thoughts to the public. This was the case recently when the former Vikings wide receiver reacted to the release of an email from former Las Vegas Raiders head coach John Gruden that included him using what they said was an insensitive description of current NFLPA executive director DeMaurice Smith. He talked about, John Gruden basically made a joke about DeMaurice Smith's lips. I did not know that was a term that was discriminatory towards black people, but I guess it is. I get whatever you're insecure about will manifest itself, basically. And this is Randy crying his eyes out on TV, which irks me. It really does, especially you crying over a Caucasian man. I mean, that is ridiculous. And I don't care who don't like it. Grown black men should not be on TV crying because a Caucasian man doesn't like them. It's pathetic. Or what he perceives doesn't like him. This is what he had to say. For us to be moving back and not forward, National Football League, this hurts me. A powerful conversation from the NFL, Sunday NFL Countdown crew on John Gruden's 2011 email that included a comment in reference to NFLPA executive DeMaurice Smith. By the way, DeMaurice Smith is stealing money. He's not doing much. The players are getting finessed every bargaining. Every time it's time to bargain, he's getting finessed. The players are getting finessed. And that's the guy that they want to, I guess, take up for. And the thing is, let me say this too, Randy. John Gruden didn't resign because of that email. He resigned because of comments he made about Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell is a sensitive man. He's a petty man. And I believe he pushed for the Raiders to let him go. And I believe also these emails were leaking because of him. And if the Raiders didn't fire John Gruden, they were going to leak more emails. They're going to leak more emails. On Monday, Gruden resigned as head coach of the Raiders after a report from the New York Times revealed additional emails from his past that include remarks that denounced the emergence of women as NFL referees, the drafting of a gay player, and the tolerance of players protesting during the playing of the national anthem. What I want to know from John Gruden, bro, why are you sending these emails? You know, you should have known that they would use that against you because you're dealing with a very petty group of people. Roger Goodell is very petty. And when they have a grudge against you, they would hold on to these things. Now, again, these might have been sent to Bruce Allen. And honestly, I agree with the whole women as referees. I don't see the point of that, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't care. The drafting of a gay player, I mean, you know, whatever. The tolerance of players protesting. There's a lot of people who've probably said things that John Gruden said about that. That's nothing new. A lot of those owners, a lot of those executives don't like their players kneeling. This is why they was getting rid of players, some of these teams, because those players that were kneeling, teams were getting rid of them. They weren't signing them. There's a reason why Kaepernick is not in the league. So I'm pretty sure that John Gruden isn't the only one who felt that way. Before the New York Times report was released and Gruden resigned, the majority of the public was only aware of the one email sent by the former Las Vegas head coach that included the insensitive description of Smith. As the case was just about everything these days, not everyone agrees with the reaction from Moss and his colleagues to the email that Gruden sent. One person, Jason Whitlock, went as far as deciding to mock the reaction of former Minnesota wide receiver. With this video was hilarious. Now I would play it, but I don't want any type of issues with Blaze TV. If you want to see it, I'll put a link to it. You can go check out Jason's video and his channel or whatnot. But I'm just here to do commentary. I'm here to do commentary about how sensitive these males are. They're sensitive. And the thing is this, Randy, there are other things that you could be crying about in this world. Crying over what you perceive to be a white man that doesn't like you, because you're black, especially not just you specifically, but may have certain biases. Randy, he's not the only one. You work at a network full of people with biases. You played for owners who have biases. Now, I'm not here to defend John Gruden, but to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. He made fun of DeMaurice Smith's lips. How was that? Listen, we know what real discrimination is. Randy Moss knows what real discrimination is. He's from the country. He's from Rand, West Virginia. He's seen and heard worse than that. But you have people who either were scarred by certain things that may have happened to them growing up, going into different environments in their particular cities or whatnot, and it scarred them. And maybe he's that way. I know guys like Randy. On the outside, they try to act tough, like him talking about fighting Jason Whitlock. And then you got guys who are very sensitive to what Caucasian people say about them or think about them. Randy's one of those people. When he's around black people, you see that wall. You don't see somebody that's, vulnerable. You don't see somebody that's crying their eyes out. But you sit him on a panel with Caucasian people, tears are going to start flowing because that's the type of people that we're dealing with. And I'm pretty sure y'all have been around those type of people as well. To me, this ain't a big deal. I have seen and heard worse than what John Gruden said. Can somebody tell me what he said against black people specifically? DeMaurice Smith don't really matter. The guy is allowing the NFL players to get finessed in these bargaining agreements. So, him making fun of him, I don't really care. What did John Gruden say about black people is what we need to be discussing. Because if he specifically said something about all black people or black men or black athletes, this would be a different conversation. But to get on TV and cry just to make your bosses at ESPN smile because you're doing their work to help their viewership, you're pushing a narrative. To me, that's not something that you should be doing. It really isn't. And the thing is, whether you like Jason Whitlock or not, I found his response to be hilarious. And the fact that Randy got so pissed that he wanted to go and tweet this talking about on site. What are you going to do, Randy? What exactly are you going to do? Why do black men make threats to other black men and then don't do nothing? But I guarantee you, if John Gruden makes fun of your lips, you're going to sit there and you're going to cry, because that's what you've shown yourself to be. You're a puppet of your ESPN overlords. That's what it looks like. But that's just my opinion, people. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What you think of this. Now, like this video and share it. Follow me on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.